Good evening, everyone. This is Niroz from Nepal. I am adventure, landscape, and documentary photographer, filmmaker who have been chasing stories around these high altitudes and mid hills of Nepal, Tibet, and India. So today I am going to share you the experience, how I started, and what I have been doing, what it is like to be working on those environments, what it is like to tell the story of a people who the rest of the world doesn't usually care about, and the practices that has been practicing in the higher cliffs of the mountains in Nepal, India, and Tibet. So my title is Chasing Stories in the Himalayas. So most of you think Himalayas, how they do look like. So it looks like this. This is Himalayas. And this is just a small section of the Himalayas. This is where Mount Everest lies. You can see the top, highest mountain in the world. So this is the one of the section which is like 30 kilometers. If you look at the stretch of the map, this is the small section of Himalayas. So apart from this section, if you look on the broader picture, this is Himalayas look like. So it starts from just near the border of Pakistan to the Myanmar. So it comprises 8 countries, and 1/3 of the world population, they rely on the resource and shadow of these mountains. So we call this third pole of the world. And so while doing all this filming and following the people in indigenous practice around these places, I came across very interesting stories that most of the world doesn't know about. And so this is what the normal environment look like for me. Yes. So this is the environment looks like. And you see the risks involved in this environment is it's your life over that one shot or that one video. So that is Himalayas, and this is also Himalayas, where the people live and do their daily activity. Like this girl from the western Nepal, she's carrying grass for her cattle that she has been keeping. And so I will start my background, how I get into all these stories, how I get into all the filming and photography stuff. So back, if you look at 10, 11 years ago, I used to be I still am a expedition leader and a mountain guide. So while helping the crews around the world to film all these stories, I realized that I am capable of doing all these stories by myself too. And not just supporting the crews around the world, I wanted to show how the story looks like from the authentic point of view. Because what I felt was the environment, the stories, people saw that does not belong to my country or my environment, there lacks authenticity, where it's misleading a little bit or confusing for the people, and like people really need to know the story that's authentic and important to them. So I will start by showing how the landscape looks like over there in Nepal.
بركة في دنيا هنانا نينا بيجيشي دي بركة shong ebisen day ebise ebise rashir eye kuchka usugu ebise gay usugu ongo alala fi dunya anina bigeshi day walla baraka fi dunya hanana nina bigeshi day Shutei kuda, te bekreshir kuchka, eregeiti de kuchka, te deinegi mishirine, shigeli faranchi de walla, ungo alala fi dunya, anina bigeshi de walla, salam fi dunya hanana, anina bigeshi de walla, ungo alala fi dunya, anina bigeshi de walla. سلام في دنيا هنانا أنينا بقيشي دي ولا سلام في دنيا هنانا سلام.
Yeah, so the landscape looks like that. And I wanted to tell the story by myself, which I feel like I have to tell it when it comes to authenticity and originality of the story. So in this image you see one of the lady which I was traveling for like 40 days straight, and that's my helper who helped me to carry my tents and everything. So he's sitting there. We stayed in this tent for like 4 days waiting for the good weather, and she's serving me a tea. And this is the transhumance practice that I was filming with. So she keeps her small temporary hotel on the bank of lake for 5 months, and rest of the months she travels to another place where it's less cold. So this place gets a lot of snow during October, November until early of March. So I was staying over here, and this image is from the people who follow transhumance practice on the eastern part of Nepal. And you can see the utensils they have, their backpack or the thing they use to carry their stuff. So these people move all around across Nepal throughout the year. They don't stay in one place for like not even 2 months. So wherever there is green pasture, they move with their cattle and sheep. So they have got 2,500, 3,000 sheep that are with them when they travel. So they look after all these sheep together, and the team will be, these people will be 4 or 5 people looking after like 2,500, 3,000, or even like 9,000 and 10,000 cattle at a time, and they move these folks wherever the green pasture is available. So I started chasing these stories by myself as I was filming all this stuff. So this is me filming on the top of one of the peaks around Everest region. And if you look at here, I'm carrying a camera that can do photo, video. So traveling across these places is not easy. You have to carry your own stuff. You have to carry tents, you have to carry mattress, you have to carry your food. And so camera, if you carry for 2 different cameras for photo, video, it's not really practical on this type of environment. So what I prefer for these kind of stories is I prefer to carry hybrid cameras so that I can take images, I can take videos. And so recently the cameras have been quite popular. The compact size and comes with a lot of features as well. So this is me on the top of one of the mountains where I was capturing the sunset and crafting the story for Netflix movie that's releasing on next October, I guess. So as I have written here, the Himalayas are more than a mountains, they are stories waiting to be told. So most of us know Himalayas are like a big mountains, big peaks, and there is just snow, people climb it every time. But it's more than just mountains, there are human side of the mountains as well. There are people who resides on these mountains as well. So I want to talk about technical and physical challenge while doing all these things. This is one of the peaks around eastern part of Nepal, and it stands 7,000 meters. So I was carrying my backpack, tent, camera, tripod, and everything. So technical challenge on these environments is your battery won't work, your lens get frozen, your camera will stuck because of too harsh temperature. And once you start recording, like if you do it time lapse on this type of environment, it will freeze your camera or it will be overheating because of the environment that's not suitable for them. So on this type of environment, what I have noticed is if you use the proper gear, if you use the proper cards, then you can, your cameras can perform really well. And so sometimes it's not really feasible to carry your tripods. So this is me improvising the wooden plank as a tripod when I was on 4,000 meters. So I was on the way to climb one of those peaks. So I didn't have a tripod. I left behind because I had too much stuff to carry by myself. And so this is how I improvised while taking the time lapse of these clouds moving just down of these mountains. And this is me carrying all the stuff and camera as well on the way to Manaslu mountain. That's one of the 8,000 meter mountain. And so you can see over here inside my bag, I have got a lot of stuffs over there. And my primary gear over that time was Sony. And I had like not really great experience at that time because I used the wrong gear. So I had a lot of heating issues and card failures at that time. So, and then I switched back to the hybrid that I was looking forward to it. So this is the human side of the Himalayas. No, I'm not just climbing high up in 8,000 meter or to the rugged terrain. I am also following the people who have these unique, authentic stories. And so when I first do it, these people, they don't open up at first. So to make them open up at first, I have to be with them for like a couple of weeks. I have to stay with them. I have to eat with them. I have to talk with them and like be a family with them. And then they open up. They tell me the stories, what's behind happening with their lives, what is happening with the environment they live in, and what are their aspirations, what are their difficulties and everything, so that I can craft a better story over there. And also I look forward to bring the local stories to the live. So this is the festival that takes place on every 12 years. If you go to Tibet, they follow Tibetan calendar, and they have got this dragon year every 12 years, and they celebrate these festivals around this dragon year. So I happen to be there. So I photographed these women who were dancing and singing. So for this, I traveled 16 days on my foot after crossing the Nepal and Tibet border. So to capture this, I had to carry all my stuffs plus camera. So for that, I needed a perfect gear that can justify, because if I miss this story, I have to wait 12 more years. So for that, I took one of the hybrid cameras. So because I was doing photo and video both, so I needed a hybrid camera, and also and this is from the western part of Nepal, where a shepherd is taking away his goats, as these shepherds are also collecting the cordyceps at that time. And so while chasing these type of stories, you have to connect to the people who are in their environment, who want to share more, because I spent 30 days with these people, and they were more open, eagerly waiting to tell all those their hardship and their experiences of being these type of nomadic people for more than 40 years. So filmmaking challenges at high altitude. You can see me. That's me connecting a power bank to to the camera, because there is no electricity at this point, and there is like very bad weather at the time, and I didn't had a solar charge over that, so I connected this power bank to my Nikon. I think Nikon, yeah. So the good thing about these hybrid cameras these days is they can be charged with power banks and other portable chargers, so you don't miss the story. And yes, that's me charging, and I was taking a time lapse over there. So this is me again over here. So it's not just the gears will have challenges, but also as a physically, for me also it's challenging looking at what I do, because sometimes you have to push a lot on the cliffs, on the landscape. That's not really for me. That's not really where humans are meant to be. So on these type of landscapes, I again say I cannot take the bigger gears, like very big heavy gears. I have to take the smaller gears that's portable enough, that's strong enough to capture the essence of the stories, and that does photo and video well. So this is the landscape. I had to do it, the rigs, and so behind me there is a backpack of 30 kilograms. So and then I was coming down from one of the highest pass, around 5,600 meters. So I was following the locals over here. So when this is their environment, and I have to be catching them always. So when they are in the local environment, these guys will be super fast, because they have got all their stuffs on their horse and then their yaks. So to catch all these people, I have to be quick too. So that's the reason why I prefer to shoot on hybrid cameras over other heavy gears. And the terrains and logistics to transfer all these gears, all these equipments on this environment is not really easy. So this is one of our porters while on our Everest expedition. So this guy is carrying like 120 kilos on his back and still was offering me a help to carry my camera. So, and the terrain over there is not like you can drive to the 5,000 meters or 6,000 meters. There is a certain point where the flight or a jeep goes. So after that, all you have to do is you have to carry your own stuff, or you have to get someone carry your own stuff, or you get a mule or donkey to carry these stuffs. So what they do over there is the local people who are down there over village just doing nothing, they come up for the temporary employment, and then they carry these type of stuffs. And these are the gears where people carry for the camping treks and camping expeditions. So these people are probably carrying 60 kilos, 70 kilos, and I'm following them along with these people on the highest altitude around the Nepal. So this is just below Camp 2 of Everest. So I was following the guy on the middle for his story for one of the BBC media. So while chasing him, I had to climb up to Camp 2 of the Everest, and at that time I had a very heavy full frame, and which had a lot of trouble for me because I was carrying all my stuffs by myself, and I had to carry my camera also, and I had to carry the sound equipment at that time. So why I am saying this is it's very essential to choose your gears when you are on this type of expedition. It's not just about on the high altitude. It's you can relate it to the environment that are not meant to you, that are a bit extreme to you. So this type of while choosing this type of gears, you have to make sure you choose the right one. And like here I said, every breath is a battle, but every shot is a reward. Like this shot, you know, you can see the ridge of the Everest over there. There is a top of the Everest, and there is another 8,000 meter over there, and you can see the cliff of the Nuptse. So collectively, these three mountains are called Triple Crown, and so very few of the climbers have done this Triple Crown. And the guy on the middle, whom I was chasing, was one of the porters, Sherpa people, who climbed these three mountain in one weather window. So this is him before going up in the mountain. What I use on my videos and photos is these cinematic techniques and time lapse, because I like to show how the time passes through that landscapes, either be it afternoon, either be it morning, either be it evening. So I like to film it and show it on a time lapse. And if you look at the terrain over there in the Himalayas, drones, they come handy when you have to film this type of environment, because not all places you can walk or you can climb. So there are places that are not really accessible by your feet. And this is me filming with the locals around western part of Nepal. So this is the Everest Base Camp. Like I said, these drones, the new technology, they come in handy to film these to show this perspective of the story. So this is the base where the climbers start their expedition. So from here, the real climbing to the Everest starts. So you can see the crowd over here, how many people are there, how many teams are there, and what's the number of people going up in the mountains. So these big tents in the middle is like a dining hall. People spend most of the time over there. And talking about the drone, these are the hallucinating mad honey hunters of Nepal. So this guy is on the cliff that's 200, 300 meters. And while chasing this guy, I cannot go on these type of cliffs. So I have to use drones to film this. So this shot is not from the drone, but I have to use drone to film this type of shot. So if you look at the video over here, so this is how they hunt it, and have to film it through drone, because it's not possible to film it just hanging on these cliffs. So while following these people, I like to spend more time with them. I like to be a family with them, be a part of them, and know the authentic side of these people, so that they can teach me their culture, so that they can show me what's happening around their lives. So she is the local from the central Nepal, and everyone on her home had left for the foreign employment, so she had no one to do a field job. So usually in Nepal, the women, they don't do a plucking. This is a traditional plucking thing, so they don't do it, and she has to do it. So I was filming her story, and when filming these type of stories, you try to not get attached to these people whom you are filming, because there are like sentimental side of the people who you cannot like leave behind, and that's what happened with me when I was leaving her. So yeah. So while I was following these cordyceps collectors, I filmed this local who was packing all her stuff and coming down to the village. And so this is the same woman in whose tent I was staying 4 days, 5 years back, and then I went back again last year. And then I found her again at the same place, same time, so I had filmed her. And this time she brought her yak with her, so that she don't feel alone anymore. Because most of the time, these people, they stay on these places alone.
अहिले पहिला उहिले माला भन्ने त्यो हरेक चिज गर्ने मुन्टाउँदा माला लगाइन्छ अहिले त्यो महिलाले पनि माला पनि हटाइले सब हटाएर अनि खाली नक्कै हँडेछन् त्यो पनि हँडेछन् त्यो पनि.
So over here I was filming the conflict between the conservation area and the people living on just boundary of conservation area. So these guys are these guys want to tell their side of the story for the government to not to impose a lot of restrictions around their places, where they had people who had to go to prison just because of they went inside without the authority. And these people over here are returning from the festival, and they are cooking their meal on the middle of the jungle, and I happened to be there filming these people on my story. So one of my main focus while capturing all these stories is telling the local voices, because these people are ignored by the mainstream medias, these people are ignored by the newspaper and journalists, because they are not really in the accessible position. And I wanted to be there, I wanted to tell these stories, I want to show the world these people have got uniqueness on them. And I don't want this type of practice to end and go nowhere, because the new generations over there in Nepal, they don't follow this type of practice, this type of traditions anymore. And to understand the Himalayas, you have to understand the people. It's not just about the big landscape and beautiful scenery. It's about the heart of the people, the story of the people, and how they live over there and what they do it. So this guy had got petted this animal while chasing down the cordyceps. And this is another shepherd around the foothills of Himalayas, where he spent 30 years of his life looking after the cattle and sheep. So on my films, I use these visual and cinematic inspirations. Like this is just before the sunrise, where sun is not out yet and there is a cloud over there. And if you look at the layers of the mountains, this is 2,500, over behind is 3,200, and it goes up to the 8,000 meter mountains. So when you see sunsets and sunrises like this, I wanted to capture the true color and true beauty of these environments. And most people, the landscape of Nepal is like this. If you go from north to south, north there is a big mountains, 8,000 meters, and south there is a plain flat land, like over here in Qatar. So this is looking from north to south. It's not just big mountains on the north, it's very big mountains are there on the southern slopes too. So if you go beyond the highest peak over there, there is a big flat land immersing on the environment. So when you start a video or a photo like this initially, people get the perception of its remoteness. You see the big valleys and the vastness of this landscape. It's not really accessible by road, or if you look at it, it's not. It does not look like it's accessible by air too. So to reach over here, I had to walk 26 days and take this image. And these are the porters that are helping our expedition team to climb that mountain. And while on the evening, these guys are walking up to that small hill and enjoying the sunset and probably resting, because the next day they were going to the further higher elevation on the mountain. So these are the locals that come from collecting the cordyceps on the cliffs of the western Himalayas in Nepal. And that's the porter that's going to climb his next mountain, Everest, and watching it from one of the highest viewpoint around the base camp. You can see the base camp down there. In a couple of days, he's going to scale this mountain. So while doing all this story, I look after the stories that is very impacting these days. And this is like at the base of the mountain, there is a wildfire spreading. So I named this fire and ice. Usually it does not happen because it's very cold up there. There is a snow, and it's very rare to see wildfires around these environments. And I tend to tell the story that that emphasizes on climate change and its impact to the people that's living on these type of environment, and how vulnerable they are to the environment. So I'm going to show you one video here.
A word.
So this is a video that I was following the cordyceps collector. So if you know the cordyceps, it's half fungus and half fungus and half plant. So during April, May, June, so this is like a transition stage of that plant, and it's highly medicinal, and we call it Himalayan gold. So the value of these cordyceps is very high in Nepal and Tibet.
Untouched by time, where the rhythm of life is dictated by nature's whim. I'm drawn to the mountains, to the people who call them home. The higher I climb, the closer I get to the essence of their existence. Every bend in the trail reveals a new chapter. Every face, a story waiting to unfold. I carry my camera not as a tool to dominate, but as a humble companion, a silent observer. In their eyes, I see reflections of the mountains, strong yet gentle. Their smiles, like the first blooms of spring, carry the promise of a brighter tomorrow. I'm not just capturing images, I'm building emotions, creating connections. Every photograph is a promise to share their world with the rest of the world. The cordyceps, a symbol of hope, is more than a commodity. It's a lifeline. I document their journey not to exploit, but to honor. I am a mere spectator in their lives. Yet, through the lens, I have the power to amplify their stories. I must be mindful, respectful. My photograph is a responsibility, a pledge to tell their story authentically without judgment. Their reactions are the ultimate validation. In their eyes, I see recognition, pride, and a newfound sense of self-worth. It's in these moments that I realize the true power of photography. The mountains have more stories to whisper, more faces to reveal. I'll return with my camera, but more importantly, with an open heart. Until then, I carry their stories within me.
So I was following these people and documenting their life, how it is like to be in this environment, living behind their home for 3 months, 4 months, and then staying on the cliffs of these mountains. So I was staying a month with them, and it was already a big hardship for me. And for these type of films, I have to be more mindful about what I'm carrying on my backpack and what I'm taking with me. And better, what I prefer is I prefer the lighter gear. I prefer the only one lens that can do multiple things, so that I can film the landscape, so that I can film the people, so that I can film the object that's not near to me. And I'm not just shooting the videos or photos, I'm doing both. So I wanted to emphasize more on the hybrid cameras that I use. And if you are an enthusiast who is starting to do this kind of stuff that's out of your comfort zone, that's out of your environment, maybe I can recommend a hybrid thing. And maybe you can do just both or do your own research. And I end over here, and maybe I want some questions if you have anything. Or
Thank you very much for your beautiful presentation with us today. I just got one question. You have just mentioned that you use one lens over there. Which lens is that?
this is 2470 2.8 Nikon.
For all the shootings, you don't have any other lens?
I have, but during this type of expedition, I cannot take 70-200 or prime lenses because these things are heavy. So I prefer something that I can do, because I do a little bit research before going this type of environment. So I thought this will be the perfect gear to carry, and then
Thank
carry
you.
it.
Hey, thank you for the great talk. Yeah, I just wanted to ask, there's some photos where you're taking photos with your own camera. So I wanted to ask, do you usually travel with other photographers? And what cameras do they use? Because also these photos look amazing. So I just wanted to ask about that. Yeah.
Okay, so the thing is, I don't have really great behind the scenes stuff over here. Yes, I have some people who travel with me, and the images like this image, these are taken by my phone by myself, because these are because I was the only guy who was over there at the moment. So yeah, most of my friends who are into this documentary and this type of filming, we prefer to put it simple as because we are shooting a photo and video both, so we prefer to put it simple. We take it hybrid, and what's powerful available, we do it that way. So in this case, we are doing Nikon Z8, which is one of the very powerful cameras over here.
It's possible for a camera to be affected when you shoot a photo in cold place,
Sorry,
like above the mountain.
can you repeat it?
It's possible for the camera to be affected when you shoot a photo above the mountain.
Yeah, it's possible, but you have to put your camera wrapped around your jackets overnight before going and taking the image over there. So, but there are cameras that perform really good on the very challenging conditions too.
Okay, thank you.
I got another question for you. Do you arrange photo tours? And if yes, when is the best month to visit Nepal?
So it depends. Like yes, I do arrange photo tours and all these stuffs around there. So it depends what you want to shoot. Like if you want to shoot festivals around Nepal, you have to travel around spring, March, April, May. So there are a lot of festivals going on around Kathmandu or around Nepal. So if you want to shoot Everest expedition, or the porters or the Sherpa people, then you have to travel May, June, because that's the time when people summit Everest and you get all the stories that's happening around there. And if you want to just good sunset, good sunrise, landscapes, and people celebrating festival, then October, November is another good time. So it depends what you want to shoot.
Landscape and astrophotography. And how many days you think it's enough for one trip?
So most of the parts in Nepal are not really accessible very soon. So minimum will be 10 days, and maximum you can go more than a month or so. Yeah, but you have to be willing to come out of your comfort zone and all.
And for going around during the photo tour, do we need to walk or we can take cars?
Yes, you
I
can.
mean hiking.
So you like I showed you people carrying the stuff. We get people who help us carry these stuffs, and then We get donkeys also and yaks also. So depending on the area where we are going, we'll find these type of people, and it's possible, yes.
And what is the average distance for a single hike?
So there is no distance we measure in. We measure the distance in hours. Like over here, you measure distance in kilometers. Over there, it's not like you see 1 kilometers in distance, but it will take 5 hours because it's uphill. You have to go uphill. So it all depends. Like it depends on altitude also. It depends on how fast you can walk and how slow you can walk. So it depends. So average, it's 5 to 6 hours walk a day.
Thank you.
Hello, really beautiful, the pictures that you took. I just wanted to ask about the lighting equipment. Do you bring with you any lighting equipment like flash or any kind of lights, or you just go with the camera and find the best moment of the day to take the pictures?
I don't use the lighting equipment because I wanted to put it on a natural side of the story. So that's why I emphasize on a proper gear that can capture the real color and true tones of the environment and the subject. So yeah.
Do you use any Lightroom tools or something like that to improve your images, like masking and this kind of techniques, or you just took the picture, the raw, and that's it?
Yes, I use the Lightroom too because I take the images on the raw format. So I use the Lightroom to retouch a little bit.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
I take out
No,
this.
keep it now.
It was really beautiful.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah.
Now this gift for audience. Keep it this here. Gift for gift.
Okay.
I'll give him closer up.
Where is 44? Thank you. Okay. Oh, it's continuous. Congratulations again. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Congratulations. LED light. Okay. 38. Congratulations. Certificate. Yeah. Four. Yeah.